Today is Tuesday, August the 9th, 2016, and today's latest kerfuffle involving one Donald Trump involves Mrs. Hillary Clinton. Now, he's on a campaign stop. He's talking to people. I think he's in Wilmington, North Carolina. He's doing a speech, and he's talking about the Second Amendment and the NRA. And he made a comment many people are all up in arms about. They said that it was an assassination threat against Hillary Clinton. Now, the media has shown you the piece of it they want to show you and not in its full context. Now, what I want to do is show you what the media showed, and then I'll talk about that, and then I'll show you the full thing in proper context so you can see what's going on and make your own mind up. So go ahead and roll that first clip.
If she gets to pick her judges, nothing you can do, folks. Although the Second Amendment people, maybe there is, I don't know. But
okay, so you see the first clip, you see what's going on there. Now, that is what the media wants to show, of course, because the media really is not honest. And I'll get to that a little bit later after I play the full clip. But you see how they're dishonest. They show you just one piece of it, and then they go off the rails. And there's always a usual suspects that want to come out and say bad things about them. You know, I'll turn on NBC Nightly News, and of course, they always hit on Trump. This is just one more thing to hit on Trump with. I saw somebody from the National Journal or National Review, same old people that come out and hit on Trump, that say bad things. Now, when I say hit on Trump, I don't mean in a sexual way. I don't want you to take my words out of context, but I digress. What I want to do right now is play the actual full clip in its proper context so you can understand what's going on. So go ahead and roll it.
so, I just wrote this down today. Hillary wants to raise taxes. It's a comparison. I want to lower them. Hillary wants to expand regulations, which she does bigly. Can you believe that? I will reduce them very, very substantially. Could be as much as 75%. Hillary wants to shut down energy production. I want to expand it. Lower electric bills, folks. Hillary wants to essentially abolish the Second Amendment. By the way, and if she gets to pick her judges, nothing you can do, folks. Although the Second Amendment people, maybe there is, I don't know. But I'll tell you what, that will be a horrible day. If Hillary gets to put her judges, right now we're tied. You see what's going on? We're tied because Scalia, this was not supposed to happen. Justice Scalia was going to be around for 10 more years at least, and this is what happens. That was a horrible thing. So now look at it. So Hillary essentially wants to abolish the Second Amendment. Now, speaking to the NRA folks, who are great, when you, and I'll tell you, so they endorsed me. They endorsed me very early. My sons are members. I'm a member. We can add, I think, the National Rifle Association. We can add the Second Amendment to the justices. They almost go, in a certain way, hand in hand. Now, the justices are going to do things that are so important, and we have such great justices. You saw my list of 11 that have been vetted and respected and have gotten great. Okay. And they a little bit equate. But if you don't do what's the right thing, you're not going to have, either you're not going to have a Second Amendment, you're not going to have much of it left, and you're not going to be able to protect yourselves, which you need. You know, when the bad guys burst into your house, they're not looking about Second Amendments and do I have the right to do this? Okay? The bad guys aren't going to be giving up their weapons. But the good people will say, oh, well, that's the law. No, not going to happen. We can't let it happen. We can't let it happen.
Now, you see what's going on there. Is it different or is it the same? Do you think that what I just played you is different than what I played earlier, right? And if it is, isn't that a problem? I mean, it's the same clip. So why wouldn't the media play the entire thing in its whole proper context rather than just playing that small piece? I think it's because they're trying to be dishonest and trying to do anything they can to get at Trump in a negative way. See, you could take what he said in a different way than what he intended it to be. Now, what the media wants to portray it as is an assassination threat. Like Second Amendment people can go out there and kill her before she gets in office to take her guns away. But why does it have to be that? I mean, just because you have the right to the Second Amendment does not mean that you have to go take a gun and kill somebody. It could mean that you can galvanize together and go out there and do the right thing, which you also said, which means voting for the right person. Because the proper context here, he was talking about the justices coming up. Now, if you put Hillary Clinton in there, she's going to put in liberal justices that will take the Second Amendment away, so to speak. They may not have the power to go change the actual Constitution, but they can rule on cases that will weaken the Second Amendment, right? Let's say it's a case where somebody wants to sue some local court or state court because somebody got shot in their family. And then they're saying, okay, the state is not protecting my family because the gun laws are too lax. So I want to sue to get certain guns restricted. It's already going on right now, I think, in Massachusetts, where they've banned certain types of guns. And that's probably at the behest of certain people that are out there. Just like I was talking about earlier, I did another video about the New Yorkers against gun violence and them banning the emoji on their iPhone. See, that right there is just one small battle that's being fought right now in a series of battles that can happen where gun rights are taken away. Now, that whole thing with the emoji is pretty petty and stupid. However, in that same group, the New Yorkers against gun violence was also able to pass the New York SAFE Act in 2013 in New York State, which banned certain types of guns from that state from being sold, right? So-called semi-automatic, air quotes, assault weapons have been banned, right? So who's to say that these kind of things won't be able to happen on a state-to-state level or nationwide when you put in certain people to the Supreme Court, to the highest court in the land? That's what he was talking about. Doing the right thing means everybody galvanize together. If you want to keep your Second Amendment rights, use your other rights, which are to vote and go out there and vote for the correct person rather than voting for the wrong person who would take that right away. You could look at it both ways. It really all depends on how you feel about Trump personally or just your level of maturity about the situation. He won't go on national TV and talk about killing somebody. I mean, that's ridiculous. Why would he do that? And the thing about it is, it doesn't make any sense from a professional level, a personal level, or in his current position. He's somebody that's more of a non-interventionist. He's not one to go out there and do things unnecessarily. You know, like Trump isn't that kind of guy to go out there and preach violence. Some people may hear that and say, oh, what about his rallies? He talk about paying people's bills that hit somebody. It's like, nah, if you come in a rally and you're disrupting it and you're hitting other people, you're using loud, profane language and you're being a disruptive person and you hit people and you hurt people and you assault people, it's okay to defend yourself, right? Now, I don't think Hillary Clinton's in there with her giant head hitting anybody with her giant head or her fist or anything like that. So I don't think he's talking about being in a self-defense mode using your gun on Hillary Clinton. It makes no sense. He was talking about voting in a proactive way, in a correct way, rather than voting for the wrong person. That's the way I look at it. That's the way that makes the most sense. But of course, the media is going to just spin things how they want. It doesn't really matter what he does. He can go on the plane and eat Kentucky Fried Chicken. People are going to say, oh, it should be Popeyes. It doesn't really matter what he does. It could be something that's serious, as this allegation is, or something very small and petty. Meanwhile, you can have Hillary Clinton having a guy, Sadiq Mateen, who is the father of Omar Mateen, come to her campaign rally in Kissimmee, Florida, right? This is the guy that killed 50 individuals in the gay club in Orlando, Omar Mateen. This is his father going to the actual event. And the father said that he was invited by the Democratic Party. Now, I'm not sure if that's like a robo text or email or something like that that says, hey, come to this event. But he is a member of the Democratic Party. He's a Taliban apologist. He's somebody that does not like the United States' role in Afghanistan. Now, I'm not one that says that the United States should be overseas doing things in Afghanistan. However, his radical viewpoint, you have to think that it probably impacted his son, who went out there and committed a radical act in the name of Islam. Now, it may have also been because he was a homosexual himself, but obviously Omar Mateen was inspired by the ideology of Islam. It's pretty simple. It's pretty easy. It's pretty easy to put two and two together. And why is it that he was even allowed to be there? Shouldn't he be on some kind of watch list or something like that? I mean, come on. What if the DC sniper's dad or brother or uncle or something like that was at a Donald Trump rally and sitting right behind him, right? They would say that that's a threat to somebody else in the audience or to Hillary Clinton. So Hillary can get away with anything, murder, literally, from Benghazi, whatever. But Donald Trump says something that somebody wants to interpret one way, then all of a sudden he needs to drop out of the race. He needs to just go away. I think much of this is being perpetuated by the media that does not want to see him become the president. It's just really that simple. There's no other way to really describe it, because at the end of the day, people love Donald Trump. They love what he stands for. They love his campaign, and there's not much anybody can do about it. It's really just that simple. And I think the more they try to send out hit jobs on Trump, I think it empowers those of us that are in his corner even more than where we were before. So what do you think? Do you think that Donald Trump got on stage in Wilmington, North Carolina to threaten to kill Hillary Clinton or allude to somebody else doing it, using the Second Amendment right to go out there and purchase a gun and then kill Hillary Clinton to prevent her from becoming the president? I mean, if that's your case, then explain to me why you think that's what he was talking about, because he didn't say anything concrete, really. It's up to your interpretation of what you want it to be. So it's really just a matter of what you think he was talking about and not anything about a fact, because he didn't say, well, go out there and vote. And he also didn't say, well, go out there and kill. He was just leaving it out there. And I think in the context of what he was saying, he was talking about voting. So do you agree with my stance that it was about voting and not about trying to kill anybody? It wasn't about trying to invoke any kind of violence or anything like that. If that's your stance, then, explain to the liberals, the people that are listening, why you feel that way. Whatever your comments are, positive or negative, let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.